Stories with Carly. That's me. I am the instructional coordinator here at Los Luceros Historic Site, and I'm going to be bringing you a lot of different stories from New Mexico. So the reason that we chose this topic is because folklore is so interesting to us, right? Some of it could be historically based around actually things that occurred, and some are just used to explain phenomenon that can't be explained. So as we're going through these stories today and these Spanish folklore of New Mexico, think about, did this actually happen? Could it have happened? So just think about that. The first one that we are going to start with is the Weeping Woman, otherwise known as La Llorona. The myth of the Weeping Woman is peculiar to Santa Fe. A strange woman dressed in black, dragging heavy chains and weeping bitterly, is often seen after midnight, walking about the dark streets or standing at the windows and doors of private houses. Vague ideas are expressed about her, but many state that she is a soul from purgatory, desiring to communicate with someone or obliged to atone for her sins by dragging chains and weeping. That any soul from purgatory or heaven can come down to earth to communicate with relatives and friends is a widespread belief in New Mexico. And it's not strange that any apparition, real or imaginary, is looked upon as a wandering soul. When the weeping woman is heard weeping at the door, no one leaves the house. And finally, she departs, continuing her sad lamentations, dragging heavy chains. There are also some who state that the Llorona is an infernal spirit wandering through the world and entering the houses of those who are to be visited by great misfortunes, especially death in the family. And a few say that she is nothing more than an old witch, una vieja bruja. So the basilisk is something that I first heard of course, with Harry Potter. And apparently this is a myth that is actually known throughout the world, which is pretty interesting. The basilisk in New Mexico, however, is a little different, which we'll find out through the story. The well-known myth of the basilisk, o basilisco, a myth which is found in nearly all countries, is widely extended in New Mexico. It does not differ entirely from that of Spain or Chile, but there is one element which distinguishes it from the basilisk myths of other countries. In all countries where the myth appears, it is believed that the basilisk is born from an egg laid by a rooster. But according to the New Mexican belief, the basilisk is said to be born from an old hen. There is no egg connected with the myth at all. After a hen is 7 years old, she is no longer able to lay eggs, and she may give birth to a basilisk. A hen which is known to be more than 7 years of age should be killed, lest she give birth to a basilisk. Not only in this respect is the New Mexican myth different from that of Spain and Chile, the basilisk in New Mexico is not like a snake. It's not like a serpent or a reptile or the creature in Harry Potter. It has a shapeless, ugly form, resembling a deformed chick. And it is black of color. So it is described by a New Mexican who, after going to a chicken house, whither he was attracted by the cackling of a hen, found a basilisk, fortunately dead. Any female bird or fowl may give birth to a basilisk. Everywhere in New Mexico, the myth is the same. As to the deadly effect of the eye of the basilisk, the New Mexico myth is the same as in other countries. If the basilisk sees a person first, the person dies. But if the person sees the basilisk first, the basilisk dies. The story is told that in a certain place there was a basilisk in a magpie's nest on top of a tree, and the people who passed by were seen by it and died. Finally, it was suspected that there was a basilisk up in a tree, and a mirror being placed near the nest, the basilisk saw itself there and died. The belief that the basilisk dies when beholding its own image is also a prevalent one in all countries where the myth is found. Even the mirror story with slight variations is one that is found in Chile, France, and Spain. In France, the basilisk is also found in wells and may be killed by placing a mirror over the well and allowing the basilisk to see its own image. The myth of the basilisk is an old one. In Spanish literature, references to the deadly eye of the basilisk are quite common, and the same is true in French literature. It is indeed strange that the New Mexican myth, while in many respects is the same as the Spanish and general European myth, should present such a striking difference in respect to the manner of the birth of the basilisk. In Chile, the myth in all respects is the European myth. So I think that is one thing that is so interesting about creatures like this. The basilisk is not the only creature that is found all over the world. These type of myths describing the similar properties, similar creatures, can be found in multiple different countries, no matter how far apart they are from one another, which is pretty spooky in my opinion. So these two stories of the Weeping Woman and the Basilisk are found in the Journal of American Folklore. And this article was actually written in 1910. So these stories go back way before that, before this was even published. So thank you so much for joining us in this video, and catch you next week on Campfire Stories with Carly.